All right, Raphael.
Yes, sir.
Raphael, where'd you grow up? Where are you from originally?
Okay, so I grew up in East Africa, Tanzania.
Is that right?
Yes, sir.
It's very interesting. You grew up with a mom and a dad?
I grew up with a mom and dad, but sadly, my dad passed away when I was at a young age. He was sick, so he paralyzed, and half of his body was working, the other half was not working. So he was couldn't move, but yeah, I mean, my dad was different. You know, my dad grew up in a village, and where he grew up, he had this different mindset because where he grew up, it was a place where there's a lot of voodoo things happening. And then if you had like more than 3 sons, they would kill the oldest one or something like that. And he was the oldest. So my grandma had to run away with my dad. And then my dad actually nickname was called Msafiri, which means traveler in English. That's Swahili. And he was always, most of the time, I was never around him. You know, I never spent time with him like that I remember of. I knew a few moments, but he was always moving, always working, traveler, pretty much.
He died when you were how old?
When I was 15 years old.
15.
Yes. And I was at a basketball game.
Oh. And how do you describe your childhood, living in Tanzania? It's got to be very different than the United States.
My childhood was crazy. Just growing up in that environment was difficult. I mean, just put it like this. You know, we grew up in a place where, they cut your power every day and there's nothing you can do about it. You know, it's something normal, there's no running water. You gotta walk a few miles, to get actually water, things like that. It was never easy. Violence was everywhere, but there was not much drugs like out here. I can say that.
What do you make of like you live in Los Angeles now?
Yes.
You came here when you were 18?
I moved to San Francisco when I was 18.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I just moved to LA like a few months ago.
Okay. So San Francisco and LA are not that different?
Pretty much.
You've been in the US. You're how old now?
25 years old.
25. So you've been here for a little while.
Yes, sir.
And you've seen the homeless communities in San Francisco, you've seen them in LA?
It's really bad. It's damaged.
But it's similar in a lot of ways to how people live in Tanzania.
Really, yeah, it's really similar. At some point, not exactly everything, cause how I say, most people out here are provided with, opportunities, but at the same time, you have to go and fight for those opportunities. Are
there opportunities in Tanzania?
I'm sorry, what was that?
Are there opportunities in Tanzania?
Not compared to out here. Feel me? I mean, this is LA, man. This is Los Angeles, California. Feel me? Anybody coming outside, third world countries, or how we call it, the fourth world, both side, it's hard, just like let me give you my perspective. There was nothing I can do back home for as far as anything I wanted to do.
With work?
Basketball, music, school, just anything you want to do. YouTube, there's no opportunities like that. People do it, but...
If you stayed in Africa, what would you have done?
I don't know if I would have been alive.
So your basketball talent...
I mean, I wasn't like, this good kid, like, now I was trouble, rough.
But basketball got you a scholarship?
Basketball gave me opportunity to go to good schools, meet, different teachers that had believed in me, and I always loved school. I took international business at DVC in San Francisco. You me? I always loved business. I'm a businessman. I always see myself as an entrepreneur. I have a few brands I'm opening. I'm working different projects. I'm working with different people, different young entrepreneurs, trying to, just rebels. That's one of my brands. It's called Rough Rebels. Just going against the odds. Because I say rebel because it's the definition of rebels, going against the odds. I call it rough Well, first is my name is Raphael, but second is because, we come from these bad environments, it's not in our favor, feel me? The environment we grew up in, just not even in Africa, just it can be Syria, it can be Pakistan, it can be Haiti, it can be Jamaica. These are rough environments. This is not America, this is not the first world, this is third world countries, this is four, it's full side, it's not the same. And I always trying to give that to my friends, my people, my coworkers. I always try to put that in their head, like, as much. One of my friends said it better from New York. He said most people out here in America have first world problems, and they don't even recognize it.
Tell me what it's like for a person living in Tanzania. They're living where? In a little shack?
Well, I don't want to say that Tanzania is this bad place, because everywhere in the world, no matter where it is, there's always a place where people are making money. It can be Mexico, or it can be anywhere. Mm-hmm. Even in LA right now, people are struggling, but it's people making money. Feel me? That's everywhere in the world. Feel me? How I grew up, because I'm the last of the 5 kids. My dad had like 12 kids, but my mom, he had 5 kids. It's different, man. Pretty much, but how I grew up, it was different compared to my other relatives, because they were older than me, feel me? So they had different experiments, different, I was growing up when my dad's business was actually starting to work out, and he was making money, a few money, so we can now eat, we can now wear good clothes, we can go to school, But if you ask my other older relatives, it was a different story for them, feel me? But as far as growing up in Tanzania, it wasn't easy. It was not easy at all. For me, for my family.
Describe what it's like.
Okay, so what perspective you want to know?
Like just like electricity and water. So let's start with that.
Okay, so growing up in just Africa, there's a lot of things that you don't get access to. One of the main things that we never even had access to was information. You don't even get information. You don't even get the right information. We have YouTube out here. We got Facebook. You got a lot of Google. I mean, we do have them back there too. But as far as growing up back then, even right now, feel me? Not even back then, because I'm just talking about that one area. But that's where pretty much a lot of things. Most of my childhood, was pain. Just fear, how I always see it, like, cause my mind is different. I don't see myself as an African kid, none of that. I just see myself as a child of God. So I always see myself as just growing up in Africa. It's just you walk into some bullshit. You just walk into some straight bullshit. Like how I saw it. Just growing up with my family, and my family was, I grew up different. I grew up where my mom's side didn't get along with my dad's side. I'm talking about real, like fight, shit like that. And how I see it is like, I was just born to this shit, I was just a kid that grew up in this thing.
But most young men like yourself,
right,
staying in Tanzania, do they have hope for their futures, or are they just hustlers?
Most of the kids out there, I would say, there's very low hope. There's very low hope.
So that means they resort to what?
Violence, resort to, I can't say drugs, because, we have beliefs. We grew up with beliefs and traditions,
Are there drugs in Tanzania?
Of course, there's drugs everywhere in Africa.
Really?
Different type of drugs than you ever seen out here. They make their own drugs. But talking about, like, we have beliefs, we have tradition, we have fear of God, we Africans, so, we were raised in these traditions different from Americans, We're raised with African women, which we see them as our gods, our living gods. I always see my mom as my living God. You can ask that to any black African young man. We love, respect our mamas. We have that fear for our mamas. One of the biggest things everybody says, I want to get my mama out the hood. Feel me? We always had that. So to some extent, we have that fear. We have that tradition, because, you still have your grandparents, you still have all that, but people are different at the same time. I cannot talk for everybody, but for a big percentage, I cannot say like Africa and America, like the drug problem, I would say it's worse out here. The drug problem out here.
It's worse.
Addiction is way worse. Cause I feel like people there's so much that they're pressuring on the people. Feel me? That most people just explode or find an easy way out or an escape, which is most of the time is the drugs. Feel me? But back there, most people want to leave. Feel me? Like I told you, that's the only escape we have. Is if you just leave Africa or you leave that environment you're in. No matter what you're doing, you can be the richest person in Africa, man. You're still gonna go through it. You're still gonna have dirty roads. You're still gonna have, just bad environment. Feel me? You're just gonna wake up at Skid Row every day, and you're living good in your eyes. But the environment. And I'm not saying that there's not rich people out there. There's a lot of rich people out there, millionaires. Feel me? But at the same time, people don't really give a fuck. Everybody's focused on getting the next bill and the next bill. Feel me? Nobody really cares about, cause I have family in the village areas. I used to go visit my grandparents. Like I was this kid that my dad would take us maybe every now and then, because I told you we grew up where my dad moved where the money area is at, and he started doing his work out there. He moved my mom out there, and it wasn't easy for him too. He back and forth. Left my mom with 4 kids, ran away. This was before I was even born. That's why I told you my brothers had different experience. When he had 4 kids with my mom, he ran away, took off. I wasn't even supposed to be here. I don't know what happened in his head that told him, gotta be God. Hey, go back. And when he went back, his business started working good and everything started, going right. But for the most part, I wasn't even supposed to be here. Feel me? Cause he had 4 kids, didn't have nothing to do. He was shining shoes and he lost it. He ran away. But at the same time, I had to be God. Feel me? Cause as soon as he had his mind right, and I this is one of the things I never knew what was in his head at that time, and I never had a chance to talk to him about it. Feel me? That's always sad with me, because I wanted to know what came in his mind, what made him come back. But at the same time, he came back. He had 4 kids, and ever since he had me, his life took off. He did good. He made better choices, and life changed. For as much as I remember. But then after he died, like I told you, we had family problems, and Africans and money is something. Crashed.
How do the poor live in Tanzania?
Oh, it's bad. Oh yeah, my bad. Went off topic, but yeah, I used to go visit my grandparents in the village areas. When I say the village areas, this is where you see the animals, all the things you see in the movies, the lions. This is where we actually go and meet up, come close with all the wild animals. My grandpa used to hunt animals. And I would see this just way of life that was not right. And as a kid, man, I never wanted to go back there because it was dangerous for me, just to go visit them was dangerous. Let me tell you this story, right? It's one time we went back there. We never went there many times. We used to, we kids, man, we don't want to go back there. There's no power, there's no water. We want to stay away, we want to play with our friends and do the fun stuff, So I never used to want to go out there. But now I want to go out there, but I want to help them. But at the same time, let me tell you this story, right? So we went to visit our grandparents. This is crazy. This is the first time I met my elderly grandparents, It was crazy because they really lived in a village area. Like I'm talking about, let's say a whole block, right? It's full of family. Not even a whole block. Let's say it can be like 3 blocks. and everybody know each other. It's all family. Like my uncle lives here, my auntie live there, and everybody lived there, and that was crazy for me. But then it's like they didn't have water, they didn't have power, you know, and they were fine with that. I mean, they've been living like that for 40 years, 50 years plus. My grandparents is 80 years now. I just called him yesterday. I'm like, man, I'm getting you a truck, man. You gotta at least drive now, man. You're getting too old, man. But they fit though. They've been farming their whole life. They've been eating healthy, eating organic food. They grew up their own food. But it was crazy for me because, funny story, right? It's nighttime. He's telling us, all right, man, it's bedtime. He was telling us, hey, this is not where you guys from, like the city areas. There's gonna be elephants gonna come here at night. And we thought he was playing around. He was dead ass. I'm talking about we went to sleep and we heard like the house shaking and shaking. And we was like, what is going on? And he just told us to be quiet. He used to that. So elephants come at night and they pass through. This is the village. This is the village area. This is real life elephants. Man, I didn't come here for all that. And I was so scared. Cause yo, man, imagine seeing an elephant, bro. Just a real life elephant passing through your window right now. A real life elephant, bro. Bro, it's huge, man. All you gotta do is just do that, man, and the whole house down. And we were shaking, man. I'm talking about we were shaking. I went to bed, I put my whole blanket on my head. I'm like, no. Put my earplugs, I'm like, no. Passed out. And it was real, because the next morning we went and we saw elephant footprints. Feel me? But it was so calm the whole time. Like, man, don't trip, man. They're just gonna go away. But you know, we never seen this stuff. And we go the next day, you know, he shows us like this wildlife, you know, this lions, which is, it's beautiful. It's a beautiful thing growing up around that area, you know. But, you know, it's like, I don't know how to put it on. It's like the beautiful things are free at the same time. Because here they go, they don't have all these things. They don't have this clean water. They have to go to the river to get their water. They have to go farm for their own food. But their mind is so sharp. They're so strong. Compare like my granddad, he's 80 years old. He is so fit. I'm talking about he's like lean, he's healthy, you know. Can find a 20-year-old here, man. Man, he about to die tomorrow, man.
Can't stand up straight.
Like, it's crazy. Like, it's because of the food. The mentality is damaged. You know, it's a lot of things, you know. So I always see like just growing up out there, you know, it's tricky because you don't know what's outside. Most people don't even know outside of that, you know. I feel so blessed, you know, and I always want to take fully advantage of this situation because I have family that have never lived in Africa. They have never stepped foot out, you know, Tanzania, you know, and that's crazy to me. People thinking like, hey, man, just because I'm in LA and it's all this rainbow, you know, it's all this beautiful thing that I'm living out here. Well, you got people outside out here.
What do you think of somebody who's living in a tent that has all these opportunities in America, but they're wasting it all?
Let me put it like this. This is for every African who live out here. I'm not saying every, because not everybody has the same perspective, but we will say the same thing. I would say it's comfortable. Or maybe he wants help. Everybody needs help, but most of those people who are living in tents, they're damaged, you know, they are mentally not right. I mean, not everybody, I can't speak for everybody. Some of them, you never know their situation, pretty much.
It's the majority.
Majority of them, right? They're damaged, feel me? But I feel like, you know, if they can just clean themselves up, and get their mind strong. That's all. That's it. Just focus. Everything else we just line up. Once your mind is strong, you can do everything else. If your mind is weak, there's nothing you can do because you're always gonna feel a victim. You're always gonna feel like, why this happened to me? Come somebody help me, this and that. But
as an African man, young
Right.
man, you didn't have the opportunities these people did. You didn't have
Never.
the education. You particularly you left, came to America, and you have an education. But
I mean, particularly, I had a good education.
yeah, but most
Majority of them, yeah. Majority of them, even my friends I used to hang out with, feel me, like I told you, my dad was a hard-working person. You know, I would never speak down on that. He worked so hard. I never hanged out with him because he worked so hard. But for the majority of people, I cannot speak the same. Feel me? For him, I always see like God was working through him. Feel me? Cause
most young men your age back in Tanzania, they have no education.
they have no education. And
No
even if they
opportunity.
do have education, man, this education is 4th, 5th grade education. You know, they don't teach you like all the right things. Feel me? They don't, man, in Africa, they're gonna teach you about computers. We know computers. They're gonna teach you about learning about computers. We know computers, how like it's just different. Just as much as education is so low. Feel me? As much as the teachers, feel me? The wages, people are not getting paid, man. What would you want to go teach and you're not getting paid? Feel me? Personally, I was lucky enough to study the American system, which is called IGCSE for most people. And I was lucky that it gave me more understanding as a young kid from Africa. That's why I could visualize all these things, and I saw what was wrong at a young age. I knew what was right, and I knew what was wrong, and I knew what was going on outside of where we lived at. Most people couldn't see that. I love music, so I love music so much. It gave me like I was always urged to see this new video what Lil Wayne got, what Tupac. I love hip hop so much, so which is I always see it as something that made me at the same time, made me different from, majority back home. Feel me? It gave me something like, to keep going. Most people don't have, people do, but they're not provided with the opportunities to keep going.
What would you like to do with yourself? With your life.
Man, not what I would like to do, but what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna become the greatest I've ever been. I'm gonna help my people at fully extent with not just not things I can give, but knowledge I can provide, awareness. This maybe the grass ain't green on that side as you think it is. Maybe you're here for a reason, and then as much as the youth, cause we are so lack-minded back home, with beliefs and traditional beliefs that people think that it's always, it's God way or now, no way, Jesus way or nah, like religion is so big in Africa, so huge that it's mind control for people. Feel me? And Africa is so damaged that, it's a jungle. Everybody's trying to eat. Feel me? Everybody, you can't blame nobody, same way from out here, you can't blame nobody if you want to go outside and, trying to, hustle, to feed his family. Feel me? Cannot blame nobody. We're not giving the opportunities, People do have opportunities out here.
What is the problem? What would be the first step in Africa?
Personally, I think the leaders gotta they gotta change all the leaders. Cause how I see it, most of the leaders out there, before they go help the people, they gotta help themselves. They gotta help their family. That means taking money from the people. Feel me? That means pretty much putting your own brother down so you can go up. You know, which you can say, man, everybody trying to make it, you know, everybody trying to feed their family, but there's only few leaders in Africa that really care about the people. Feel me? Very few leaders. And you don't hear about these leaders a lot. Feel me? Because people are too busy, you know, focus on the wrong leaders. Because this is what the media portrays and the focus is on. Feel me? I'll say this, man. Even out here, man, a lot of people here talk like they care about, you know, their communities or black people or what's going on in the world, but most people don't. Most people care about themselves out here, man.
Yeah, human greed is everywhere.
Every fucking way, excuse my language, everywhere. And if people can just come understand that, you know, we strengthen numbers, you know, that love conquers all, you know, at the end of the day, you're really helping yourself. You're helping your kids, you know. You're helping the future. But people don't see that. People see right now, man, I gotta, you know, do this for right now, feel me? I'm having a kid tomorrow, right now, feel me? But I don't always want to blame nobody, feel me? Because if you think about it, no one really got the answers. No one really knows what you're supposed to do. Feel me? Most people are just told what they're told to do, you know, in school, and then they leave school and they just lost. Feel me? You go outside right now, not every homeless you find out here was, you know, had a bad childhood, who had a world. Some of these people are bosses, CEOs, you know. Some of these people were smart. They grew up in good families, you know. They had good opportunities, you know. But it's just what life brought them. And I cannot, you know, who am I to judge them? Feel me? I always see myself, I'm not God, I cannot judge you, and you cannot judge me either. But I always feel like there's something you can do, man. There's something you can do. Feel me? Gotta be something you can do, man. You're just not here to just, you know, come on, man. You can do something. You feel me? That's how I always feel. I can do something. You feel me? I don't have much. Man, I came out here when I was 18 by myself. And I'm looking good too. I don't have no relative out here, man. I work hard. That's the American way. You gotta work hard. Nothing is given anyway, man. People are thinking it's so bad out here, and this is LA, man. This is San Francisco, this is California. You know, this is supposed to be, you know, the top of the top. But most people coming back, you know, where we come from, both sides, fourth world countries, you know. And you come out here, you just, you know, you're giving this life that, like, you just don't believe. You know, what you grew up seeing and what's really going on is two different things. Feel me? It's like a movie. It's like an actor in a movie. Feel me? You gonna think, which movie? Let's say any movie, Tom Cruise, right? He's not the dude playing Mission Impossible. Feel me? He's not like when he leaves the set, he's a different type of person. He's not the dude you see in the movies. Feel me? He's not gonna jump on top of the car. He's not gonna do none of that stuff. He's gonna go back home to his family and his kids, play golf, whatever you wanna do. Feel me? That's him. That's how pretty much, you know, it was growing up, you know. You see all this thing, but it was provided, it was given to you, and you think, man, if I can just get there, man, all my dreams will come true. Feel me? Man, all these things, man, I'm seeing right there, like flash, it be like, man, if I can just get there. And you get there and you just find out, like, damn, shit. Maybe it was good back then.
It's interesting. It's interesting to see a young man who you're 25 and your goal is to help.
25 years old, man. My birthday was January 26th when Kobe Bryant died. Kobe. Yeah, but I feel like for me, I had to change my mindset first. Feel me? I had to stop living as this victim, seeing that, oh, why this happening to me, and just try more to understand life. Understand, like, why is this going on? Why am I going through this, I had to change my mindset first and understand just a different perspective. And that, that helped me. That helped me understand better. That helped me understand people in higher classes, lower classes, middle classes, every class better. Feel me? It opened my mind like, man, there's people really living out here, but they're going through it, and people in Africa, man. And there's people living in Africa that living really good than people out here. And that's real life facts. Feel me? I had to understand that it doesn't matter where you at. What matters is how you act and how you take advantage of where you at. Feel me? It don't matter where in the world you at. There's struggle everywhere in the world. There's poor people everywhere in the world. There's rich people everywhere in the world. Feel me? And that's true. Feel me? As much as life is hard in Africa, there's people making millions of money every day. Every day. And that's real. And it's not like they don't see the other people who are going through, bad, the same way out here. People making millions of money.
Is the wealth disparity greater in Africa than it is here?
I'm sorry, what was that?
Is the difference between the rich and poor?
100%.
It's greater in Africa? The spread?
Like you're talking about more rich people?
The difference between the rich and the poor.
Oh, yeah. More. I mean, in Africa, obviously, there's more poor people. Feel me? Because Africa's big, man. Africa's huge, bro.
Yeah.
And compared to the mall, I can say maybe like, I don't know. I'm not really sure, and no, don't come for me. Probably like 30% that people who are really rich. And that might be even more. It might be 20%. No, it might be maybe more 40%, but I know for a fact 65 or 70% people are poor in Africa. Or it can be less than that. Because, man, the pandemic in our life keeps on going, it's getting worse. Feel me? But at the same time, life is changing right now. Right now, people in Africa, it's not like how it was back in the days. We're getting more knowledge. There's more opportunities coming. There's people helping out. You have people really, and this is something I really love from, a lot of people supporting people in, Africa. You get more people, more white people coming and support Africa than black people out here. Feel me? People having more fans out there, more funds. Like, even in documentaries, you see this on YouTube. Feel me? These people talk about all this daycare and all these all these things they say and act like they're really doing the cameras, but they don't, man. You get these white people that go, man. Some of them, they're not even that rich. You feel me? They just take a trip out there and they change people's life out there, man. For the low they have. It can be, man, a person working at Walgreens. Feel me? Just get his checks together and he can go back home and really make an impact to those people, man. I do, because I see these blogs, man. I follow these people on YouTube. I see what they're doing. And I respect that. Feel me? I respect that, man. Because most people won't do it, man. It doesn't matter even if you're black or my color, man. That doesn't apply to me, man. It's your heart. Feel me? you can say all that, man, and all this and preach all that, but at the end of the day, it's your actions and your heart. You feel me? And that's what we stand on.
All right. Raphael, thank you so much for sharing your
Thank you,
little
man.
info on
Appreciate it.
how Africa and America are different.
Yeah.
I wish you the best of luck.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, man.
Yeah.